business classes. The questions that are being presented to you on the screen, these are from the ISS IES paper, alright, and this is from this year's paper, that is 2022 I'm talking about, the recent paper, and I'm focusing on the general studies paper right now. If you follow our channel, you will get our general English solution also. But one thing, make it sure that we are not solving all the questions in one class. Rather, we are focusing on only one question each class, so that you can just post your queries if you have any properly in the comment box regarding that particular question. And if you want to know more about this particular question, then you can just ask us. So, in order for so that you can just like follow the question properly and like focus on that particular question only. That is why we are selecting only one question per class, and we are describing it, we are explaining it, how you can write these kind of questions. Like we have been solving these answers, so if you follow, you will be able to understand how you can write these answers, how you should be writing, so that you can fetch good marks. Today's class we are focusing on question number 4b, that says analyze the powers of the governor and the causes for their frequent friction with the states. Very like we can say very hot issue. Obviously the governor always have some sort of friction with the state representatives. Okay, so let's get to see what kind of an answer shall we write. First of all, you need to state who is the governor. Okay, first of all, you need to talk about who is the governor. What are his powers? Okay, then, then you move over to the causes for frequent friction with the state. Then you talk about that. So first we are talking about who the governor is, what are his powers, and then what is causing his friction, or is his powers causing any kind of frequent friction with the states? Is it because of his power that we are experiencing such friction with the governor? Like the states are having so much of friction with the governor. That is what then you're going to write. Okay, so 3 topics are to be covered in this particular answer, and let me tell you, here you need to write only within 200 words. So focus on that. You cannot exceed this word limit. Let's go to the answer. What points you can include over here? So as I told you, we need to talk about the power and the functions of the governor. Now, as you know, there are so many types of functions or powers of the governor. So first, I'm going to talk about the executive powers of the governor. Now the following comes under his executive powers. So first of all, we need to analyze all his powers. Right now we are talking about the executive powers, how an order that has been taken up by his name is to be authenticated. The rules for the same can be specified by the governor. Then every executive action that the state government takes is to be taken in his name, is to be taken in the governor's name. He may or may not make rules to simplify the transaction of the business of the state government. So this is another power of the governor. Chief ministers and other ministers of the states are appointed by him. So this is another power. It is his responsibility to appoint the tribal welfare minister in the states of Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Orissa. So this is another very important power of the governor. He appoints the advocate general of the states and determines their remuneration. So he even determines the salary. He appoints the following people, which includes the state election commissioner, then the chairman and the members of the state PSC, that's the Public Service Commission. Then he also appoints the vice chancellors of the universities in the state. So see, he has so much of power. He seeks information from the state government. So he just asks about information from finds out all the information from the state government. A constitutional emergency in the state is recommended to the president by him. Okay. So the governor recommends the president regarding any kind of constitutional emergency if it's there in the state. The governor enjoys extensive executive powers as an agent of the president during the president's rule in the state. So all these were the executive powers that we have had discussed. Next comes the next set of powers, which are called the legislative powers of the government of the governor. The following are the legislative powers of the governor. It's in his power to prorogue the state legislature and dissolve the state legislative assembly. So this is only his decision. He addresses the state legislature at the first session of every year. So the job of the governor over here is to address, for the second point I'm saying, is to address the state legislature as at the first session of every year. Then, if any bill is pending in the state legislature, governor may or may not send a bill to the state legislature concerning the same. So it's up to him whether he will like send the bill to the state legislature or not. If the Speaker of the Legislative Assembly is absent, and the same is for Deputy Speaker, then Governor appoints a person to preside over the meeting. So if this person, if the Speaker of the Legislative Assembly is absent, and if the Deputy Speaker is also absent, then a person can be chosen by the Governor to preside over the session. As the President nominates 12 members in the Rajya Sabha, Governor appoints 1/6 of the total members of the Legislative Council from the fields of literature, science, art, cooperative movement, and social service. So it's kind of having the similar kind of power like the President. As President nominates 2 members in the Lok Sabha, Governor nominates 1 member in the State Legislative Assembly from the Anglo-Indian community. So trying to have equal powers. He can consult the Election Commission for the disqualification of members. So it's up to him, but he need to consult the Election Commission for disqualification of any members. With respect to the bill introduced in the state legislature, he can give his assent, withhold his assent, return the bill, reserve the bill for the President's consideration. This happens in instances where the bill introduced in the state legislature endangers the position of the state high court. All right. So these were all the legislative powers of the governor. Now comes another set of powers which includes the financial powers of the governor. The following are the financial powers and functions of the governor. Number one, he looks over the state budget without being late in the state legislature. So he has the power to look over the state budget being late in the state legislature. Then his recommendation is a prerequisite for the introduction of a money bill in the state legislature. He recommends for the demand for grants which otherwise cannot be given. So he recommends that also. Contingency fund of state is under him, and he makes advances out that to meet the unforeseen expenditure. Next financial power is State Finance Commission is constituted every 5 years by him. So this is another very important thing, another function of power of the governor, financial power. Another set of powers includes the judicial powers of the governor. The following are the judicial powers and functions of the governor. He has the following pardoning powers against punishment. He can pardon, he can reprieve, he can respite, he can remit, he can commute. President consults the governor while appointing the judges of the High Court. So judges of the High Court are appointed with the consultation of the governor. In consultation with the state high court, governor makes appointments, postings, and promotions of the district judges. So this also depends. The promotion portion of the part of the district judges also depends upon the governor. In consultation with the state high court and state public service commission, he also appoints persons to the judicial services. This is another function of the governor. So, what are the possible reasons behind the tussle, or we can say conflict, between the governor and the state governors? This is the second part of the question that we will be discussing now. We have already discussed a lot about the powers of the governor. Political appointees. Now, according to a constitutional expert, although the Constituent Assembly envisaged the governor to be apolitical, but the truth is politicians become governors and then resign to fight the elections. So this is one reason why there has been a tussle between the governor and the state governments. Second problem is answerability. Now, the chief minister is answerable to the people, but the governor is answerable to no one except the central government. This is the fundamental defect in the constitution. Next, because of the impeachment of the governor, there is no provision for impeaching the governor who is appointed by the president on the center's advice. While the governor has a 5-year tenure, he can remain in office only till the pleasure of the president. Next, no guidelines. There are no guidelines for the exercise of the governor's powers. There are no guidelines actually, including for appointing a CM, that's the chief minister, or dissolving the assembly. This is no limit set. There is no limit set for how long a governor can withhold assent to a bill. So for these, there has been trouble between the state and the governor. Yes, so that was the entire discussion for this question that we were discussing in today's class. If you have any queries, you can post down your queries below in the comment box. We are there to help you out. If you are preparing for any kind of entrance exams or any kind of like competitive exams, we are there to help you out with live classes, study materials, recorded lectures, portal access to the enrolled candidates. Then apart from that, we will provide you with crash courses, doubt clearing sessions, mock tests, solved study materials, and also the solutions to the previous year's question papers. So if you need guidance and help, we are there to help you out. You can just go over to the description box below this video. You will get all the details, the contact number, as well as the website link of our classes. From there, you can contact us. That's it for today's class. We are meeting once again in our next classes.